So you may notice that the frame rate on this is not terribly good. That's because I didn't feel like setting up lighting. Okay, let's move on to possibly pertinent stuff. Story time. Let's get into, at first, how I got into video. Now, while family members had home movie cameras at the time of like family gatherings, and even my dad had his VHS-C camcorder in the latter part of the 1990s, I never really had my head wrapped around the concept of video because I wasn't really directly exposed to it. I mean, I kind of understood how it worked, but really my only experience with video was you put the movie in the VCR and you push the play button. Yeah, I was kind of inept when I was in my preschool days. So we get to around about the time that I'm like 5. I think I had already started kindergarten at the time. And at the school that my mom worked at, which coincidentally was the same school district, well, collection of schools, I guess, that I was attending. I went to the primary school, not the high school, obviously. I was 5. So I was there after school, waiting for her to get done with whatever, and the dude that was, I guess, in charge of, like, video stuff there was kind of around that area of the school, and you know, by that point, I kind of understood video cameras and video and stuff like that, but not as well as I probably do right now, and certainly not as well as I did afterwards. So anyway, I was asking about like this other video camera that he had because at the time, my only exposure to a video camera was the piece of crap that my dad had. I call it a piece of crap because that thing died within about, as far as I've been made aware, 2 years of him owning it. So he's showing this little thing off. I think it was a Sony either High 8 or Digital 8 camera. It was definitely a lot smaller than a VHS-C camcorder. And what really fascinated me was the flip-out screen, and that whatever you would point the thing at would show up on the screen. I was easily entertained as a kid. So I was like, oh, can I be in a video? And he's like, yeah, step in front of the camera. And so I step in front of the camera. He's like, okay, just like do something. And so I decided to like flail around and act stupid. And, you know, I had kind of an idea of where I wanted to go with that, but then my mom had to like tell me something or whatever. So video cuts off. I walk out there and my mom tells me what she's got to tell me. And I'm like, okay, so what's it look like on the video? And so he rewinds the tape, shows it to me, and me watching that back is ultimately what got me interested in video. I was like, holy shit, I can play back things that happened in the past. Yeah, as if that wasn't already implied with the whole home movie thing that I had already been exposed to years before that. Did I mention that I was inept as a child? Alright, so that's how I got into video. Or at the very least, interested. Now, what the hell about YouTube? How the hell did I end up on YouTube? Well, that's an interesting noise. Let's fast forward to around about 2006. I had heard a lot of stuff about YouTube. A lot of people were making it out in this negative light, and as a result, I kind of avoided YouTube for the longest time. Like, for a good 3 or 4 months, I would just watch stuff exclusively on Google Video. Yeah, my priorities were definitely in the right place, correct? Yeah, okay, so after a little while, it became a lot easier for me to just find videos of the stuff that I wanted to watch, that being Super Monkey Ball, on YouTube. So I started watching a lot of YouTube videos and kind of, sort of, but not really became familiar, at least with the front end of it, you know, as somebody who didn't have an account but liked to watch the content. Then we get to around about 2000, well, later 2006, actually. I ended up making my first video on the computer. And I did that by using this little webcam that my dad had with a laptop that he would lend to me so that I could do my homework. I was like, ooh, hey, webcam. I wonder how this works. Plug it into the USB port, open up Movie Maker. Oh, hello, I can record it from a webcam. That's pretty cool. Quality was crap, but whatever. Um, so the first video that I made was my sister's got some darts from a Nerf gun stuck up on a ceiling vent in the apartment that we were in at the time, and I wanted to record the hilarious adventure of removing the stuck darts. Ultimately, the video was called Adventures of the Stuck Darts. This happened twice. The second time I ended up recording like a little credits sequence. It was very crappily edited together, but I was like 11 at the time and I had no experience with editing on a computer. Any experience that I had with editing beforehand was very limited, as I had a lot of help from a friend who, let's be completely honest, was any videos that I made beforehand were recorded on his equipment and edited on his equipment, which consisted of 2 VCRs. So I really didn't do any work. I just kind of provided the content, which was video games. Lots and lots and lots of video games. Okay, so let's see. After that, I didn't really do a whole lot of the video making because I actually did use the computer for doing homework. But then we get to around about 2007, around about my birthday then, my 12th birthday. I ended up getting this little like VCam Now thing from my parents. It was on clearance at Target at the time, and that's how that came to pass. So I used that for a little while, and then eventually my dad was like, okay, I'll give you this little thing because I'm getting a new one anyway. And this one had the fun feature that I could plug it into the back of the VCR and record video from the PlayStation 2, which we had Super Monkey Ball Deluxe for. And I had a shitload of replays on that thing. Coincidentally, on a 1 gigabyte card, that thing could record 40 minutes of 640 by 480 video. It took almost exactly 40 minutes to play back all the replays that I had at the time. And that was cut together in a very shoddily made compilation. Oh, let's see. So I made a whole bunch of videos on both of these little digital cameras, and I created quite a catalog for myself, and ended up being the resident video geek of the household, even though I, let's be completely honest, knew absolutely nothing about this crap. So then I got like a Kodak EasyShare camera, and I had to learn how to use a video converter so that way I could get the videos off of that thing in their .mov format and use them in Movie Maker, which would not support Apple QuickTime Video. So then we get to around about 2008. I think it was like right before Mother's Day. It was May 10th, obviously, you know, today, 10 years ago. And I decided later in the evening, I think it was like 8:30 or 9 in the evening, I was like, hey, you know what, I made a MySpace account earlier on, so I'm just going to go ahead and make a YouTube account, because earlier, a couple of days earlier, I was discussing YouTube with somebody, and he said that his first YouTube video was just a title sequence showing off his Pokemon Diamond and Pearl friend code, and I'm like, hey, video idea. So I made the account. I tossed together a sequence of titles where I was like, okay, here's my friend code, and I kind of tossed Marilyn under the bus, not really taking into account the fact that he was actually very popular at the time. And I popped that video up on my channel, and that was that. I had actually planned to delete the channel because I didn't want my parents finding out about it. Well, 10 years later, I still haven't deleted it. I know, how disappointing. So, I don't know. What does the next 10 years hold? Work, hopefully full-time gainful employment, possibly more depression. I don't know. If YouTube is around for another 10 years and I actually make it out to 20 years, I'm probably going to celebrate by crying because I've actually been on YouTube for that long. I should probably celebrate by crying right now because it's been 10 years and I don't even have 1,000 subscribers. Oh, God. Yeah. Not like I really care. So, yeah. there you go, two stories for the price of one.